What's up, it's Kendro, and I'm back with another video. It's the week of Thanksgiving, so you also know that means that Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and holidays like Christmas are coming up. This is around the time that the majority of people that play the game actually end up buying it. So today I want to give a review of 2K22 and let you know if you should actually think about buying it or not. So since I'm a mypark player, I won't be talking about the other game modes like My Team and the W. In this video, I will be going in depth with the My Career, the City, and the game balance. And at the end of the video, I'm going to touch on my NBA and play now for a little bit before I give my final opinions. So if this video helps you decide whether you're going to buy that game or not, I would appreciate it if you drop the like. So let's get right into the video. So since My Career is the first game mode that most people play first when they hop on 2K, I'm going to talk about that game mode first. If you're new to the series, My Career is 2K's story-based game mode where you create your own player and you try to get them into the league. And in this year's 2K, it's really similar to 2K21, where you're an unknown prospect fresh out of high school and you have the choice of either going to college or going straight to the G League, or you can even end up doing both if you want to. Whichever path you choose takes you straight into the playoffs, and if you win, you get rewards to help upgrade your player. So this game's journey from nobody to superstar in the NBA is kind of tame compared to the regular 2Ks, but I actually like that better than doing something crazy like coming from overseas, then you go straight to the G League and you have no choice in the matter. But the way they did it this year is kind of basic, like I said, but it's actually better in a way. But one of the biggest things I don't like about this story are the characters. And a lot of the characters are just returning characters from the old 2Ks. I feel like with this game, if you ask a lot of people about the characters, they can't name any of them. And that's really bad because the characters are a big part of actually telling a good story. But they did add a new quest feature to the game that tells you the story instead of just giving you cutscenes after random games. The choices that you make in these quests actually impact your endorsement opportunities and allows you to take different career paths. For example, there's a quest line where you become a rapper, you meet the game who's also a rapper, and you have the choice to write a diss track on them. And it even goes as far as owning your own record label and signing a artist under your record label. But the quest system kind of ties into the city itself, so I'm going to start talking about the city too. There are a whole lot of buildings that you go into a few times when you do quests, and you'll never go into them ever again. That doesn't really seem like a big deal, but in the game, we have to go through the city to actually play basketball, which is the main focus of the game. You don't want to spend a whole lot of time traveling. This city is smaller than 2K21 City, so that's a plus. But at the end of the day, I don't really think we need a city in the game. Throughout the city, there's things like basketball courts which you can actually play on, warehouses that have matchmaking, which is the first for 2K, a Gatorade facility where you can improve your physical attributes, and there's also a mall where you can buy the game's really expensive clothing. Having all that stuff in the city is cool, but I'd much rather see the return of perks like 2K16 and 17, where there's just basketball courts, one little store in the corner, and an exit that leads you to the other perks. And I feel like this would make the game more focused on basketball instead of focus on all that extra stuff. But at the end of the day, this city is better than what we got in 2K21. But that's enough talking about the city. Let's go into the my players and the game balance. The player builder itself is the same thing that we had in 2K21, where you choose your height, your weight, your wingspan, and your position, and then you get a certain amount of points to upgrade your character. But the difference between the last game and this one is that this one's actually balanced. Players can have characters all the way from 5'8" to 7'3", and if they're built correctly, they can all be pretty good. But the characters that are like 6'4" and under are kind of overpowered. They get access to the better dribble moves, and they also get a badge called Mismatch Expert, and that allows them to shoot over the taller defenders. The gameplay itself is pretty balanced, but there are some things that can use some work. The interior defense is way too weak sometimes. Like, you could literally be standing in the paint with your hands up, and the other player can hit standing layups on you consistently. That is kind of realistic, but in 2K, this has never really been a good shot to take, and that it balances out the way that people score. Now it feels like stopping someone in the paint means nothing because they can just put the shot up on you anyway and it's gonna go in. Steals in this game are also too strong. If someone has a high enough steal rate and didn't get like 5 or more steals in the game consistently against good ball handlers. My character has an 85 ball control, so I have the elite dribble moves unlocked, but I've had games where people have like a ridiculous amount of steals on me. But besides those issues, the game is pretty fun when those things aren't happening. The final My Career thing that I kind of want to touch on is seasons. It's a brand new feature to 2K, and it's basically content drops that includes a free battle pass, new animations, and new clothing items. In the battle pass, there's 40 levels that you get a month and a half to complete with a large variety of rewards. It's a really good idea, but I don't think 2K really pulled it off correctly. We've had 2 seasons so far, and most of the rewards were lackluster. I wanted to hit level 40 4 times because that makes you a legend, but the rewards don't really seem worth it. Out of the 80 levels that we've had to unlock so far, the only good rewards that I can remember were a gold card, a trike, and the ability to make a character a skeleton. So the other 77 rewards are just terrible clothing, banners that you put under your name, 2 badge points, and a bunch of double XP tokens that you can only use to upgrade the trash battle pass. On social media, I think the legend prize was leaked, and it's only going to be a blimp, and that's the same thing we got in 2K21, so I don't think it's worth the grind right now. The season's feature has a lot of potential to be really good, but 2K has to come up with better rewards and make it actually feel like it's worth doing for it to work. But that's enough talking about the My Career and stuff. I want to talk a little bit about the other game modes real quick. Play Now is a place to play with real NBA teams and historic teams against AIs or even other players. It's basically been the same game mode since its creation. So I feel like if you ever like playing Play Now in the past, you'll probably like playing this one. The only real differences in this mode year to year are the teams and the gameplay. And that's because the teams in the NBA are always changing, and they also add historic teams every once in a while. And like I said before, the gameplay of this game is pretty good, so I think it's safe to say that the game mode is good. And My NBA is the same thing as My League, they just renamed it. It's a mode that allows you to live your dreams and run an NBA team. And this year they went a little bit more in depth with the game mode by giving you more control over your team staff. Before, you could just hire and fire your GM, the head and assistant coach, the trainers, and the scouts. But now there's more choices under each of those categories. There's different jobs for the coaches, like there's a big man coach, a shooting coach, and there's also 2 types of scouts, with a domestic scout and the international scout being added into the game. So there's just a bunch of different staff you can hire, and I think My NBA is a really good game mode if you're enjoying like creating teams and stuff like that and managing teams. But I don't really want to talk about these 2 game modes too long because I feel like the video is going to be too long. And on top of that, I feel like most people don't really play them. So I'm going to give the game a rating from 1 to 10. As someone who's played games in this series for the past couple of years, I would rate this game a 7 out of 10. And that's actually pretty good for 2K. The game can use some break here and there, but we still have like 10 months until we get the next game, so there's plenty of time for them to improve it. 2K has always been really fun with friends, so if you don't really have any friends to play with, then I would consider not buying the game unless you're going to play more than just one game mode. The reason I say that is because most people just play My Career, and the My Career isn't fun enough by itself, and the mypark isn't really fun without friends. So if you're not playing like My NBA, My Team, or Play Now, I wouldn't get the game if you don't have people to play it with. But if you do have people to play the game with, or if you're playing multiple game modes, I would definitely buy the game. And since it's this time of year, we're gonna have like a bunch of sales coming out for Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And there's definitely gonna be a lot more sales leading up to Christmas and throughout the next year. So if you're considering buying the game, I would definitely say go ahead and get it, but I will wait until it's on sale. But yeah, that's my opinion on whether you should buy the game or not, my rating of the game and all that type of stuff. If you enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate it if you drop a like and subscribe to my channel. But peace out, have a nice day. Enjoy Thanksgiving.